Welcome back to the British Accent Podcast, where we talk about the real emotions behind learning English, not just the grammar and vocabulary. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sophie. And today, we're getting a little personal. We're talking about self-doubt. That nagging question so many English learners ask themselves: am I even good enough to be fluent?
It's a hard question. And it's not always about your language skills. Sometimes it comes from deeper places, comparing yourself to others, past failures, or even just fear of making mistakes in front of people.
Exactly. And let's be real, fluency isn't just about having perfect grammar. It's about being brave enough to speak, even when you're not perfect. That takes confidence, and confidence often gets shaken by self-doubt.
Let's talk about where that doubt comes from. For example, you might think, other people my age speak better than me, or I've been studying for years, and I still struggle. Sound familiar?
Oh yes. I've had students who spoke 4 languages fluently, and still felt like they were never good enough. That's because self-doubt isn't logical, it's emotional. It sneaks in, even when you're doing great.
And the problem is, when you believe that doubt, you stop practicing. You avoid speaking. You stay silent in class or conversations. And then, you don't improve, which makes the doubt feel true.
Right, it's a cycle. Self-doubt makes you hide. Hiding stops your progress, and the lack of progress increases your doubt. So first, we have to break that cycle.
One way to do that is to change how you measure success. Instead of asking, "Am I fluent yet?" try asking, "Did I try today?" or "Did I learn something new?" Celebrate those small wins.
Another trick. Talk to your past self. Think about where you started. Were you afraid to say hello a year ago? Were you too shy to ask for directions? And now you're listening to a podcast in English. That's huge.
Sometimes, just realizing how far you've come gives you the strength to keep going. And remember, everyone feels doubt. Even native speakers doubt themselves sometimes when they speak in public or write something important.
Also, self-doubt is actually a sign that you care. You care about your growth, your progress, your communication. That means you're on the right path. You just have to keep walking it, even when your confidence shakes a little.
If English matters to you, and it clearly does, if you're listening to this, you are good enough to be fluent. It might take time. It might be messy. But it's possible. And most of all, you belong in this learning journey.
We'll talk more about building confidence, silencing that inner critic, and what to do when motivation disappears, right after this.
So let's go even deeper. Let's talk about something that not many English learners are told. You don't need to be perfect to be impressive. In fact, sometimes your accent, your pauses, your unique word choices, they make your English more interesting. More you. That's something native speakers notice and admire.
Absolutely. I remember one of my students once said, "I'm embarrassed because I sound foreign." But sounding foreign doesn't mean sounding wrong. It means you're bilingual, or multilingual. That's a superpower, not a weakness.
And think about it, when you hear someone speaking your language as a second language, do you think, they are not perfect, or do you think, wow, that's cool, they're trying? Most people respect the effort. We judge ourselves much harder than others do.
Exactly. So much of this journey is about self-acceptance. You can aim for fluency while still appreciating your current level. You can have goals and still be proud of the in-between stage.
And let's talk about comparison for a moment. It's really easy to get discouraged when you watch fluent speakers on YouTube or TikTok and think, "I'll never sound like that." But what you're seeing is the result of years of work, not the messy middle where they stumbled just like you.
And even then, fluency doesn't mean never making mistakes. Native speakers make grammar mistakes. They forget words. They get nervous. What makes someone fluent is that they keep going, even when they mess up.
So here's something powerful to remember: every time you speak English, even with mistakes, you're becoming fluent. You're building that skill through action, not just through study. That's how fluency is born.
And on days when the doubt is heavy, write it out. Keep an English learner journal. Put your frustrations, fears, and progress in it. Sometimes getting those thoughts out of your head and onto paper helps clear the way forward.
Or talk to someone in the same boat. Join an English community, a group chat, a class, a forum. Say, "Hey, does anyone else feel this way?" I guarantee someone will say, "Yes, me too." And just like that, you're no longer alone in it.
Because being a language learner isn't just about vocabulary and grammar. It's about courage, patience, and showing up for yourself, even when it's hard.
And every time you push through the doubt, you get stronger. Maybe not immediately. But over time, you become someone who doesn't give up. And that mindset? It will take you way beyond English. It'll shape who you become in every part of life.
One thing I always remind my students is this: doubt is a sign that you care. If you didn't care about growing, improving, and doing your best, you wouldn't feel this pressure. So in a way, the fact that you're struggling with self-doubt means you're already on the right path.
Right. And let's not forget how slow progress still counts as progress. Sometimes your brain is working in the background even when you don't see the results. You're absorbing sounds, getting familiar with patterns, and developing confidence through repeated exposure, even if you can't measure it day by day.
That's such an important point. Think about how we grow physically. We don't wake up taller the next day. But over months and years, growth happens. The same is true with your English. It's happening inside, silently, patiently, until one day, you surprise yourself with how much you understand or how smoothly you speak.
And I think another part of self-doubt is this unrealistic belief that everyone else has it all figured out. But guess what? Even advanced learners still feel stuck sometimes. Even native speakers feel unsure when learning something new, like public speaking, or writing a book, or using a new piece of slang.
Yes. I still second-guess myself when I speak French, and I've been learning it for years. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt, it's the decision to move forward anyway. To try. To show up.
And speaking of showing up, celebrate that you're here, listening to this, choosing to keep learning. That matters. That's evidence that you're stronger than your self-doubt. You're doing the work, even when your mind is full of fear.
And that's a powerful thing. It means you're building emotional resilience, grit, determination, and courage. These qualities go far beyond English. They help you in your job, your relationships, your personal growth. Learning a language transforms you, not just your skills.
So every time you open your mouth to speak English, even with a shaky voice, you're not just practicing. You're becoming. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you think.
And that's something no self-doubt can take away.
And remember, it's okay to take breaks. Just because you're not practicing every single day doesn't mean you're failing. Rest is part of growth too. Sometimes, stepping back for a moment gives your mind the space it needs to reset and come back stronger.
Exactly. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, try changing your approach. Instead of doing heavy grammar exercises, maybe watch a short comedy sketch, or listen to an English song you love. Learning doesn't have to be painful to be effective.
And let's talk about comparison. One of the biggest causes of self-doubt is looking at others and thinking, they are so much better than me. But every learner has a different journey. Different background, different opportunities, different time commitments. So comparing yourself to someone else is not only unfair, it's inaccurate.
Yes. The only person you need to compare yourself to is the you from yesterday. Are you more confident today? Did you understand something new? Did you try even if you were scared? That's progress. That's worth celebrating.
And you know what helps with self-doubt? Having someone in your corner. A friend, a tutor, a language partner. Someone who can remind you of how far you've come when your mind starts whispering that you're not good enough.
That's so true. And if you don't have that person yet, try writing to yourself. Keep a small English journal where you reflect on your growth. It's amazing how powerful your own words can be when you go back and read them.
Yeah, because we forget. We forget the tough moments we overcame. The words we used to mispronounce but now say easily. The sentences we were too shy to speak out loud but now say with confidence.
So be kind to yourself. You're not behind. You're not too slow. You're not bad at English. You're learning. You're growing. And you're exactly where you need to be right now.
Another thing that helps is changing the way we talk to ourselves. When we say, "I'll never be fluent," or "I always make mistakes," we create a mindset that holds us back. But if you change it to, "I'm learning every day," or "mistakes help me grow," it shifts your brain from fear to possibility.
Language is emotional. It's not just vocabulary and grammar, it's about self-expression. And if you constantly criticize yourself while speaking, your brain will associate English with anxiety. But if you treat yourself with compassion, your brain begins to associate English with safety and growth.
Exactly. And you don't have to feel confident to start. Confidence comes after action, not before. So when you push through the fear, even if your voice shakes, even if you mess up, that's when confidence is being built.
And I want to say something especially to our shy learners: you are not weak. You are not slow. You are deeply reflective. You observe. And when you speak, your words carry power. Don't confuse being quiet with being incapable.
So true. Some of the most fluent English speakers I know were once silent for months. But they were listening, learning, and building their courage little by little. Fluency isn't just about speed, it's about connection. And shy people can connect deeply when they feel safe.
Yes. And that's why safe spaces matter. If you're constantly around people who laugh at your mistakes or judge your accent, it's time to find a new environment. There are kind, patient people out there who want to help. You don't have to learn in fear.
Also, don't wait until you feel ready to start speaking. Start before you're ready. That's how readiness is created. Speak even if you're scared. Speak even if it's messy. The only way to become fluent is to keep practicing through the imperfections.
Exactly. You don't become fluent and then feel brave. You feel brave because you keep showing up, even when you're unsure. That's the real strength behind learning a language. It teaches you how to believe in yourself when it's uncomfortable.
And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Every English speaker you admire has felt self-doubt. They've all made embarrassing mistakes, frozen mid-sentence, or doubted if they'd ever get it right. But they kept going. That's what makes the difference.
So if you're listening to this and wondering, am I good enough to be fluent? Our answer is yes. Not because you're perfect, but because you're showing up, you're learning, and you're trying. That is more than enough.
Thanks for joining us today on the British Accent Podcast. If this episode gave you a little more hope or a little more confidence, consider sharing it with a friend who might need it too.
And as always, keep practicing, keep growing, and speak with kindness, to others and to yourself. See you next time.